before the Olympics would become the most watched sporting event around the world, broadcast in 220 countries, and would bring in an average of $950 million in revenue. Now we know why all the countries want to host it. Before the list of sports would expand from just 6 to over 50 events and include a separate Youth Olympics and the Special Olympics.
The arrival of the Spice Girls.
Before host cities of the Olympics would try to outdo one another in their opening ceremonies, with Beijing spending a whopping $98 million on their spectacle. Before athletes from over 200 different countries would make their way to the event, including the likes of Muhammad Ali, Usain Bolt, Serena Williams, and Michael Phelps. 3 of those 4 we have done a before they're famous on, or an after they're famous. For Michael, the Olympics were an event pulled out of the history books at the turn of the century, meant to bring the nations of the world together in the spirit of healthy competition and camaraderie. But at a grand event like this, emotions are bound to run high, and soon the Olympics would be the center of political statements, doping scandals, bidding bribes, riots, and terrorist attacks. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrudden, documenting the rise of the Olympics prior to fame, here for you on Before They're Famous. We covered a lot of corporations so far, including McDonald's, Guinness, Walmart, but this has definitely got to be the most ancient one we've covered. As always, be sure to let me know in the comments down below who you want me to document next. The Olympic Games began in ancient Greece in the year 776 BC. Named after Mount Olympus, said to be home of the great gods and goddesses of Greek mythology, it started as a religious festival when Greek men from all different cities would gather at the sanctuary of Zeus in Olympia to show their physical prowess. Winners were bestowed not only with medals, but with olive branches. Also, all the athletes competed naked, which must have made the wrestling event real interesting.
Wanna go first? There you go, boy. You wanna go first, huh, boy?
Why does it happen every 4 years? Well, Greeks actually counted time and measurements they called Olympiads, which were the equivalent to 4 of our years. Pretty cool, right? The games were ended by the Christian emperor Theodosius in 393 AD. Why did he do that? Well, he thought the pagan festival was offensive to his religion. It would be another century and a half before a Frenchman, Pierre de Coubertin, did I say that right? I tried.
You're having a hard time tonight.
He had the idea to bring them back, and he formed the International Olympic Committee in 1894. The non-profit group organized the first official Summer Games 2 years later in Athens, Greece. The first athlete to take home a medal? Yeah, he was American. Them Americans, well, they just need to have it all, don't they? Canadians, we kill it in the Winter Olympics. So there you go.
Nothing else matters.
Pierre also designed the Olympic logo in 1914. The 5 rings linked together symbolize the camaraderie found between the Americas, Africa, Asia, Europe, and Oceania. Through the ages, some interesting sports came and went, like tug of war, live pigeon shooting, rope climb, and a swimming obstacle race, which actually sounds like a whole lot of fun. The first Winter Olympics came almost 30 years later, and the 2 fell in the same year up until 1992, when the committee decided to stagger the events, which I think was a good idea. Yes, the Olympics were a great success, and it seemed the only thing that could stop them was a world war, which is exactly what happened in 1916. Then leading up to World War II, the IOC thought it was a good idea to host the games in Nazi Germany. The 1936 Olympics in Berlin, or the Nazi Olympics as they became known, gave Hitler the perfect arena to dazzle foreigners and push his Nazi propaganda. A boycott was proposed when countries heard of Jewish athletes being persecuted, but ultimately, well, that thing failed. Germany was praised for its hospitality, but lurking under the surface was a terrifying portrait of the oppressive regime to come. That was also the Olympics where Jesse Owens proved to Hitler that blacks were not inferior when he placed first in the 100-meter dash right in front of Die Fuhrer's eyes.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
3 years after the games ended, Hitler unleashed World War II, bringing the games to a stop again in 1940 and then in 44. The bad luck for Germany continued with the 1972 Munich Olympics, where 8 Palestinian terrorists took 11 Israeli athletes and coaches hostage. The 18-hour standoff ended in a failed rescue attempt where they were all killed. Several movies have been made about the tragedy. I recommend watching the one where Eric Bana is a total badass.
You know a movie I just saw again the other day, which is fucking like mind-blowing, and I haven't seen it since it came out, is Munich.
Oh, Munich!
If any of us get late tonight, it's because of Eric Bana.
In the 1964 qualifying games held in Lima, Peru, there was an even greater tragedy when a riot broke out after a Peru goal was taken back by the referees. Police ended up firing tear gas on the chaos, where 318 people lost their lives. Going into the 90s, things shifted from violence to internal corruption. We saw bidding scandals with Salt Lake City in 2002, where several IOC members were charged with accepting bribes. Then there's the doping scandals that have been an ongoing problem with the games. Russia really messed that one up recently and even got booed at the opening ceremonies in Rio. Why are they still doing that stuff? It's 2016, people.
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
Leading up to the 2008 Beijing Olympics, there was massive outcry from Amnesty International, who urged the IOC to select a place that had more concern for human rights, because we all remember how that went the first time. The games went on anyway, and Beijing ended up putting on an incredible show. But it certainly isn't all bad, and the Olympics, they've actually spearheaded a lot of good. The event prides itself in including all people from all walks of life, especially since incorporating the Special Olympics and Youth Olympics. Plus, women were allowed to compete as early as the 1900s in sports like golf, tennis, and equestrian events. Today, every sport in the games must have a women's competition, which I have no problem with. Maybe they should bring back the whole naked tradition too. You know what I mean? Just like, out of respect.
Yeah, well, tell me about Libya. Fucking tell me about Libya. Say Libya again.
As for the rest of the story, well, we're watching it unfold in Rio right now because this is before they're famous. Now, there's so much more to be said about the Olympics, especially the winter ones. How luge is still a sport, I don't know, but maybe we'll take a look at that in the next, I don't know, 2 years' time. Let me know who you want to hear about next in the comments down below. My name is Michael McCrudden. This was our Before They're Famous on the Olympics. We could do this on soccer teams. We could do this on animals. I don't know. You guys let us know what you want the history of in the comments down below. My name is Michael McCrudden. See you guys in another video. And I'm not an athlete, so you won't be seeing me at the Olympics. Although I could probably host the thing pretty good. Then they'd be like, what was all that Mia Khalifa stuff? Nah, we're not going to hire him. Such is life.